Hey friends, Kelly O'Connor, founder of College Money Academy. I am sitting in my kid's car, needed to take it out, put a little gas in, check the oil, and thought I'd come to you today. One, want to encourage those who find themselves or have found themselves in similar positions as me. Two, want to help just kind of justify maybe why you're in that situation. And three, want to give you an opportunity to do something about it, because I've been working. I was up to about 2 in the morning. That's why I've got the hat and haven't shaved on what I'm building. So there's an opportunity to do something here at a great deal, really, to be honest with you. So I want to bring that up for you here at the end. But you know, when my kids were, when I had four, I still have 4 kids. When I had 4 young kids, my oldest was 9. I was way behind on college savings. So far behind, I had 0, right? I didn't have any college savings. And I had that family friend who told me that they said, well, you know, good luck with that, Kelly, right? And that's when it started to kind of hit me. That's when the pressure started to happen. And, you know, internally, you know, I'm feeling the pressure internally. I'm like, but wait a minute, man, I'm the dad. I gotta figure this out. I'm either going to need a ton of money or a ton of luck. I'm feeling, you know, I'm feeling ill prepared. I'm feeling like, can I make this happen for my kids? But on the outside, right, I'm like, we got this, you know. Let's just focus on the now. We'll get through. It'll be okay. You know, I got this. It's nothing but a thing. It's going to be great. We got it. Don't worry about it. We'll be praying. But on the inside, man, it was a struggle. And then I sat down with an old friend of mine who's a financial planner. He does investments. I was, you know, doing insurance stuff. And he ran some numbers for me. And he determined that beginning that day, I needed to start saving $1,200 a month to be on track. $14,400 a year. And I remember thinking, like, are you kidding? There's got to be other options. That can't be the only solution for me. Am I really that screwed? And then all those internal conversations, and then that external strength certainly was sitting there too. And then, as I mentioned a couple days ago, I found myself at an insurance conference, and this breakout session leaped off the page to me. Adding college planning to your practice. Now, when I stepped into that, I wasn't interested in adding that. I was in there for me. I've got to learn this. And sure enough, I discovered that there are some strategies. But what I was supposed to do was write a big fat check in order to pay for this group, for them to teach me, and then become a paid-for college planner. And it was at that time when I realized I wanted to get this information. I wasn't able at that time to write the check, and I wanted to help other families, because there had to be more of them that were like me, that were feeling the pressure, that weren't in the position to just write a check to that extent. And I wanted to work with them because I wanted to work with myself. So I started to hack the knowledge, as I mentioned. I started to interview people. I started to all kinds of conversations. Man, my learning curve was so long. It took me 2 years before I really started having any conversations with any clients, kind of getting my feet wet. And it wasn't going that great even. So then I was, you know, I kind of backed my plan up. Well, do I now want to become the college planner? And I just couldn't. I just couldn't step into that structure of only working with those people who could write me a check. And then that's when, and I'm so grateful, because of all that research, because of all the time, because of all the interviews, because of everything that I did, instead of just paying someone to teach me what I needed to know, I discovered it. And I found those 3 secrets that I mentioned. And it was the first one that hit me really hard. And the first secret is, you can ignore the cost of attendance listed by a school, even if it says $60,000, even if it says $28,000. You can ignore it. You can throw it out. You will not pay that price. And when I discovered that this was true, when you know how to package your kid and leverage your kid and research schools, well, I tell you what, I all of a sudden started feeling confident. I all of a sudden started to feel like, hey, I do have this. I'm not so ill prepared. I'm ill prepared to write a monstrous check for 50 grand a year for 4 years with multiple kids, but that's okay. I won't have to do that. And that's when I started to educate clients in a new way. And that's when I really started to get a lot of traction. That's when I started to speak across the state at all these schools, working with district presidents, school district presidents, state senate candidates, really started to dig in and getting a ton of traction. And then the great part was when I transferred over into the online academy, and now with the ability to teach and help so many other people. And when it became time for me, I got a little note sheet here. I haven't had to reference it, but when it came time for me to send my kid, my first kid, I got a $28,000 school for only $3,800 using these strategies. She wasn't a varsity sports player. She never played varsity. She played JV. And she was not the top of her class. $3,800 was my out-of-pocket. And now with College Money Academy, what I get to do is I get to slowly start to build together with families these results, getting me closer and closer to us just flicking the college system and forcing some kind of change, because you do not have to pay that full price. You can ignore that cost of attendance. And I want to empower you. And I also want to give you an opportunity to do something about it. So right now, my entire academy is $47 a month. And what I'm going to do is I'm working on currently, diligently, as I've mentioned, some extra assets, right? I want to bring even more valuable to this. So not only do you get the whole academy, which is, a module on on the basics you need to know about financial aid, on how to package your kiddo the best. There's like 12 videos on that alone, on building the best resume, on how to research the schools to discover if they're going to be aggressive for your kid or not, and then on how to analyze their awards, how to appeal them. You get the appeal letters. They get you the appeal letters even. But then if you're in before I launch this one step away, as I'm calling it, my one step away challenge, if you're in by the time I launch all this other stuff, then you get it. You get all of it. You get all those modules in ebook, all those modules on an MP3 player in audio format. You get the 2.0 version videos. Hi, Mom. Every time my mom's watching, I'm going to say hello. Hi, Mom. Thanks for watching. You get... you're going to get the 2.0 videos, as I mentioned. You're going to get the access to the private Facebook page for more personal coaching. You're going to get all that. But once this officially launches, once all those are in there, then some of that content's going to be a little bit additional. Not very much. I'm not going to price people out. But now you can do something about it. Now there's an opportunity for you to take advantage of this. And if you feel like I did several years ago, and you're feeling like you're not that empowered, well, you're only one step away from getting that empowerment. You're one step away from not having to take on all kinds of student loan debt. You're one step away to figuring out if your 529 is going to be enough. And I've seen it so many times where the one 529 they thought was for one kid ended up being enough for both of their kids. You're just one step away from that. You're one step away from your kid not having to take on a ton of student loan debt, or you not having to take on the parent loan debt. You're one step away from your kid getting to the school, like I mentioned about the mom yesterday, that your kid has earned and deserved. You're one step away from, if you have the assets built up, not having to just deplete them all. I mean, isn't it better to hold on to some of it? So if you know of any families that need to hear this information, boy, I tell you what, you can go to virtually any podcast stream out there, from Spotify to, I believe it's Podbean, to Radio Public, to Anchor. You can go to all of them. These audio recordings are on there. You can go to our Facebook page, which you're here now. You can go to our YouTube page. You can link to them in any way. But I'm asking you to join my cause of helping